So how many of you guys watched the video that was put on? I know Debbie didn't have a chance to.
I watched it. I won't lie, I kind of zoned in and out of it because it's not the most exciting thing. But I had it on though and listened to a good portion of it.
Where's Lucy? Okay. All right. Landon, and did you get a chance?
Yeah, I was able to. I didn't watch it like completely thoroughly, but I skimmed through most of it and got the main ideas.
Okay. All right. I did the same, and I wrote up a little bit of an outline that we can use to do our literature review. So basically, if you guys open the doc I sent you, we got some people on there already. I sent 2 links. One was a link to the Hangout, and the other one was a link to the literature review prep.
Yep.
Okay, so if you're looking at the literature review prep, I've kind of organized it us to ask these questions real fast. So the idea that I had is like we can use this meeting right now to go over the purpose. And we'll ask those questions. How much literature do I need to look at? We already know we need 10 peer-reviewed documents at least. So I'll put that in there. The next question was, how far back do I need to go in reviewing the literature? What do you guys think? How far back should we do our net? Anything after 1990? Anywhere after 2000? Anywhere? What are you guys thinking?
We could do anything after 2000. I mean, that gives us almost 20 years to look through.
Okay.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay, so when you guys are doing your reviews and your literature research, make sure you look at the dates, make sure it's after 2000. After 2000. Okay, what related ideas do we need to explore? So our overarching idea is nutrition and college age students. That's like the broad one, but then we also want to dive into subtopics of in grades. I actually found an article that was really cool on that, but I didn't find a lot. So nutrition and grades is a subtopic. Do you guys have any other ideas that we need to write down there that'd be good for everyone to use in their research?
I think those sound pretty good. It wouldn't hurt to have another one.
Yeah, so the idea through this literature review is that we become the experts on nutrition for college students, and then we find the gaps that are associated with our research, and then that's what we do our research on. So we're broadly looking at nutrition in college students. If there's not a lot of research on nutrition and grades, that's awesome. We have our topic, we can dive into that, and we can try and find the correlation and do the study in the rest of the semester. If it's already been hammered to death and there's a lot of stuff out there, then we're broad enough that we can find another area or a gap in the research. Or if we do go nutrition and grades, we can look at other things. Like I was looking at some research papers that divided it into sex. So nutrition for females and nutrition for males, and how do they differ and how do they impact. So that's another subtopic. But when you guys are doing your research, feel free to come into this Google Doc and put in any additional subtopics that you come across. Okay?
Okay.
Any comments so far?
No, that's pretty straightforward.
Okay. All right. Then not sure what that question had to do with stuff. What literature provides a framework for my research? Oh yeah. So in this question mark, if you guys are doing your research and you come across a literature or some research that's been done that gives us a framework for how we want to organize ours, put it in this topic. Does that make sense?
Yeah, let me get over to the. Okay, yeah. So if we find Yeah, so if we find stuff that fits into our topic, that would be interesting. Put it in there, or
Yeah.
something that someone else has done that would be like a good thing to kind of replicate.
Yeah, let's say University of Kentucky did the exact study we want to do, right? But
Okay.
for BYU Idaho students, take that research link and stick it in there. And the way to do that is we can just link it to RefWorks. So you go up to the top, you say add-ons. Oh, why aren't my add-ons there? Oh, shoot. It should be there. Okay. There it is. So, how am I doing it? Okay. Once I get RefWorks, then you can import, when you're doing your research, make sure any article you like, put into RefWorks, and then use the add-on for Google Docs to put your research into that Google Doc. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So why use a particular instrument for my experiment and methodology for my study? Just ignore that one. Putting the literature review together, do after the research. Okay, so once you guys have studied the crap out of these topics, we come up with subtopics, overarching ideas. My plan is that on Wednesday, we come together and we answer these questions. What do the scholars say about our topic, nutrition? What are the ongoing debates in nutrition? What ideas do we agree with in regards to nutrition? What ideas do we disagree with in regards to nutrition? What hasn't been said about our topic? Whatever. And the reason why we want to do this is so we get an overarching view of what's going on with nutrition, the research. From that point, we then choose how we want to organize our literature review. And we want to focus on some things. We want to focus on giving a review of what we've seen, but in relation to the topic or topics that we want to address in our research paper. Hey, Lucy.
Hey.
So with that, so for example, as we're doing the research, as we're looking at these articles, we find a university that did this case study, and it says that, you know, blah, 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 blah. Majority of nutrition, college students have bad grades due to intake of this food group or whatever. We take that and we say, that's great, but there's a gap that's missing. And that gap is, how would this impact BYU Idaho Mormons in that we have word of wisdom, right? Does the word of wisdom play an impact in our nutrition or whatever? And so we use their research to then fuel our need to do research in our field, and we make that connection in the essay. So basically what we're writing is an essay, a persuasive essay about what's out there, what's been done, and how more research needs to be done and specifically in what we want to do. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm listening. I'm hearing you, you know, but yeah, I don't really have anything to like throw forward along with all that. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So then the plan was that in between today and Wednesday, we do research. So dive into the topic of nutrition, and then go up in the document and put in the subtopics. Make sure you summarize somewhere what the article says, and then we'll use that in order to build our essay. So yeah, let's see. And then after that point on Wednesday, we're going to come together. We're going to talk about what we found, what were the main ideas, what they're arguing about, what do we agree with, what do we disagree with about the topics, and then we'll decide how we want to organize our essay. If we want to do it by dates, you know, well, the first research that was done in nutrition was in 2005, and then 2008, and then 2009. Or we can do it topical, saying, oh, okay, so these are the main topics in nutrition, and this is the research that's been done within nutrition. and this is why ours fits in there. We could do it by methodology. So for example, these scientists use the theory that, or the method of, surveys or analysis or whatever. We think that's great, but we think that there could be biases, so that's why I want to do it there. Or we can go into theoretical, so we go into, they're based on the assumption of these authors, they're going off of that health is relative to something. And then we say, we believe that this theory needs to be approached with our research. And so then we dive into that. So then make sure we cite with APA, and then we want to create a basic outline for our essay. And at that point, we need to divide up the essay into different sections, and people who feel confident about a certain topic. So we'll outline it. So we'll say the introduction, we're going to hit the main point of, we summarize what we know about nutrition in college students, and then we say, move on to the body, and then we move on to the conclusion, which will be something like, we need to do additional research in this area. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
Just
was that?
an idea. What if we take like 5 years, like
Okay.
95 to 2000, 2001 to 2005? Just take 5 years to do that research on, so we're not all doing the same research over the entire thing. We're
Okay.
taking pieces of it together. What do you think?
I really like the idea of separating the research so we're not getting the same articles and the same things as our research. Is there some way to divide it? Time might be the best thing, or it might not be, because when we type it into the Google Scholar or whatever, we're going to come up with a lot of different, it's hard to distinguish by time, or maybe it wouldn't be, I don't know, but I'm not sure if time's the best thing for nutrition. But what do you guys think?
I don't know. I could see like the time frame like being beneficial, but I could also like see going more by topic being beneficial, just because, if that makes sense, just because like, I don't know, I feel like, I guess I feel either way would be good, but
So we're talking about how to divide up the research between.
Yeah. So the idea that I think that Debbie was expressing is this idea that if we don't divide, then we're all going to cover the same territory.
Okay. So divide it up amongst ourselves. Okay. All right.
Or what if we find different topics that I don't know. What do you guys think? I'll do whatever you want to do.
I think
I was
the
just trying to think of
problem that could come in with like splitting it up by like time frames is like, if we do find something that's interesting, but it's not the assigned time frame that we were assigned, I think that would be kind of a problem. But if we did like subtopics, I think that would work pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think subtopics would be good.
Okay. If we do subtopics, what would be those topics? So right now we have nutrition and grades. Right now we have sex differences. Is there any other things that might fit in there?
We could do like, I don't know, like major, because it might depend on what people are studying, because those studying
I like
choose
that.
one.
And the health field might choose a little healthier or worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, like those studying lifting theory, are going to be healthier than, yeah.
I really like that. So the way it might translate into the essay is we're going to have the introduction that needs to have some data in regards to college and nutrition. So maybe one person dives into just the subject of nutrition in college students, and hopefully we find something like, because I found some that suggests that college students are unhealthy. So basically we just need to state that idea, and then maybe body paragraphs could include those subtopics. When we dove into nutrition and grades, this is what the research said. Or when we dove into sex differences, this is what it said. This is what we found when we divided by majors. Or maybe we'll say we didn't find anything on majors, so that is an area of possible research for us in our whatever. So we definitely could do that. So, and then we needed a conclusion, but we should probably write the conclusion together after we figure out what kind of research angle we could go at. So right now we have 4 topics and we got 5 people. So we need one more topic to dive into or more, and then we decide the best ones. So right now we're looking at nutrition and grades, sex differences, majors, and maybe another one. And then another person needs to do overarching nutrition and college student research.
We could do maybe poor diet and its effect on social life. Because if things get stressful for me school-wise, the first thing to go is sleep, but then the next thing to go is my social life, you know? And so if I'm not eating healthy, could that in turn potentially like kill my social life because it's affecting everything else and social life isn't my priority?
So how, like, that's related to stress levels or nutrition, or how is that?
I guess we would look more like, I mean, stress levels would be like kind of the background thing there, I guess. But initially I was thinking more like, does having poor nutrition in college affect the individual's social life?
Yeah, we can look at peer pressure in regards to nutrition. It's like for example, we have pizza parties every Friday night or whatever, you know, and it's driven by this peer pressure or social stigma in our culture or whatever. I know we get together and have like FHE dinners, or we have Sunday night dinners, and it may not be the healthiest. Is that where you're going with that, McHugh?
That's not where I was going, but that's a great idea.
I'm sorry, what was, and then I'm not understanding your idea.
Oh, well, I like your idea.
If I'm understanding right, McHugh, help me.
What was that?
How does stress influence your choices in college? Is that kind of along what you're?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I like Curtis's idea that he just brought up, like with the whole peer pressure thing, but no, I was thinking more like, you know, we were talking about unhealthy diets in college, right?
Yeah.
And I guess what I was getting at was more, you know, if we're investigating unhealthy diets and how it affects people's grades, you know, well, I was thinking we could also double back on the other side of like a college career, and how does an unhealthy diet affect someone's social life as well in college? But I like Curtis's idea better about the peer pressure, because I feel like mine's more, I guess, more towards stress than it is towards actual just diet, you know?
Well, let's throw it in there. So if I understood correctly, like, how does your unhealthy diet influence your social life?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
So I just got 2 more from that. We have this idea of how stress levels impact your diet. So during college, how does stress correlate or not correlate to your diet? Unhealthy. So then the peer pressure. How does peer pressure affect your diet? And then unhealthy diets and how they affect your social life.
Cool.
So any other ones there any other ideas come up for you guys? Add them in there or do whatever.
I just thought of a huge one for college students is money. Yeah, that's probably the biggest reason college students eat bad. Or maybe it's not. We'll find out. But
Well, that could be different versus married students versus single students too.
that's true.
Okay. Oh yeah, single versus married.
That's
Mhm.
good.
Okay. other ideas come up for you guys? That was great. That was great brainstorming.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Another one that I could,
I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I come home from work and I know I've got to get right into homework, it's easier to order a pizza than it is to cook something, because I'm stressed. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so like homework load as it relates to diet.
Like
Yeah.
busy.
time.
How busy you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Homework load.
you could even look at things like credit count or as it relates to diet. So a guy who's taking 4 credits versus a guy that's taking 20 credits and their diets.
Right. I'm only doing 6. I'm not doing so good, guys.
No, you're also got a family and a job, right? So
Yeah.
The only kid I have, it's just me and my son, and he's 22, so he's self-sufficient. It's just the job that interferes with.
all right, so we got a pretty good list of subtopics. Let's go through trim the fat or combine things together, or even just if people want to take on multiple topics, that might be a good idea. That we have more research than less. If you're diving into one of your topics and you're not finding anything, it might be good to have 2 topics to dive into, because then you can have another topic to research. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think some of the topics are going to be there's going to be more research on some of those than others. So I think that's a good idea.
Okay. So I'm gonna read through these and tell me if you feel like any of these can be consolidated in any way. Grades as one, which is, yeah, okay. And then there's sex differences in diet. Majors and how they affect diet, social life and how they affect diets, unhealthy diet on social life, so going the other way, stress levels in diets, money in diets, single versus married, homework load and diet, and credit count and diet.
I feel like homework load and diet and credit count and diet are kind of the same thing. I mean, I know there's some classes that, are high credit but don't have that much homework. But I mean, for the most part, if you're taking 18 credits, you're going to have more homework than someone taking 12 credits,
Yeah, and it's also going to be hard to do research. Like, it's easier to do research on like credit count because every class has credits, but homework may vary from classes and things like that.
Yeah.
I feel like stress levels and diets kind of fits in with those other 2 as well. The credit count and the homework load.
Okay. Let's see how we can organize that. Okay. Anything else you guys see? Okay.
Yeah, nope.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. In addition, I don't know. How do you guys want to go about doing the general? Well, that's easy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So everybody, let's choose 2. So nutrition and grades. Who wants it?
I can take it. Unless there's someone else that really wants it.
I'd say go for it, McEwen.
All right.
Okay. Sex differences in diet.
I can take that one.
majors in diet.
I can do that
Or yeah,
Have it,
Debbie
that's
can do
Okay. Social life and peer pressure on diet.
I can do that one.
The Ian, Landon?
Yeah, it's Ian.
Okay. Unhealthy diet on social life. So that's the other way around.
I can take that one as well.
I think you've got the better grasp on that one too. Okay. Stress levels in diet. That's going to probably have a lot of research. That's probably a good one.
Run.
Okay, I'll take it.
Oh, okay. Do
You
I have two already, or do I only have one?
only got one.
Okay.
Money and diets.
I can do that.
I can do that. Or Landon can do that.
Woo! Duke it out.
You want three. I think you have two, but oh no, you only have one. Never mind. If you want it, you can have it.
Okay, I really don't care which I
Okay,
do.
hold on one sec. We'll put you both in there, and then we'll see if one of you guys wants another one. Single versus married. Anybody want that?
I'll do that one. Really wants it.
Go for it.
Did we just run out? How did we run out so fast?
No, we have two more.
No, we don't. Okay. Okay, what do we people got? We got McEwen's got two. Lucy and Landon are duking it out. Debbie's got two, and I've got one. So I can do that one, and then okay. If someone else wants to join me on general research for just overall nutrition in college students, it's a big topic and we need to cover quite a bit of that. If someone wants to jump on that with me, either Landon or Lucy, and then the other person can take the money and diets.
I can.
And we can separate out married on mine too, and somebody can do single and somebody can do married if
Oh yeah. What's your guys' vote? Should we go 2 people do nutrition in college students to give us the background info at the start of the essay? Or should we do divide up single and married?
I think probably
I'm good with whatever.
we should probably have 2 people on the background.
Okay.
Because there's probably just a lot to cover.
Okay. All right. So then, Lucy, you're going to go ahead and take money and diets. Me and Landon will do the research on the background.
Okay.
Then everyone else know your stuff. McEwen, you got nutrition and grades and unhealthy diet on social life.
Yep.
You got sex differences and money and diets. Landon, you got social life and then background with me. Debbie, you got majors and single versus married. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Yep.
Great.
Okay. So that's it. That's all I had planned for today. And then going from here, doing research. Are you guys? I was thinking we might want to hold a little bit of a review session of how. So we're set up to use RefWorks. So in order to do this well, and we're set up to use Google Docs as well. So we really need to be able to use those two together. And then I would encourage when you're doing your research, open up a separate Google Doc for your research, and then write really, when you find an article or whatever that you love, put it in RefWorks and then make a very small summary in that document. And then when we come together on Wednesday, then it's easy to review what each one was about and if you felt it was important and if we need to include it in the paper. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So in order to do that, we need to know how to use the technology of RefWorks and Google Docs. And I would suggest using Google Scholar as well. Were you guys able to link your Google Scholar to your BYU Idaho account?
No,
Lucy
not
was?
yet.
You. I don't know if it worked.
Okay. I find Google Scholar is really good for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons is that when you're doing your research using Google Scholar, it'll say, let me share my screen with you guys. So it'll say, for example, right here, so also when you're searching in Google Scholar, notice I said nutrition and grades and college students in parentheses. So, or quotations or whatever those are called. That means that I have to find these words together and these words within the article somewhere. So, and then it pulled up this article really good on the first one, health-related variables and academic performance among first-year college students. Might be some cool things on nutrition there, the effects of nutritional habits. But the other thing that's cool is right here, it says cited by 487. So the cool thing that happens here is that this means that this person, these guys are prestigious in some way, or this study was prestigious in some way a lot of times. So that helps validate this research right here. Also, if you look down here, there's one with 836. So that's maybe even better. So if I'm competing between these two, maybe I should choose this one. And look, college students' academic stress and its relation to their anxiety, time management, and leisure satisfaction. That's also right in our topic areas. So yeah. What are your guys' thoughts?
No, I mean, that sounds good. It sounds like we just need to all go out and do some research and make sure that we keep track of everything that we're looking up and finding, right?
Yeah. Would it be better for me to create a Google Doc and then have those topics in the Google Doc and then you guys put your summaries right in there? That way it's all together and we have a Google Doc for Wednesday.
Yeah, we could do that.
That would probably be helpful.
That'll also, for example, if I come across an article like this, that'll allow me just to stick it into, even if it's not my subject, I can stick it in there so we have it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okie doke. That's it. Any concerns, doubts,
Did I
anything like that?
did I miss anything when I was offline, or
I don't remember.
You weren't really off for very long. You were okay.
okay?
We just reviewed a little bit of what we needed to do. So basically, Monday to Wednesday, we're doing research on the topics that we got assigned just barely. The purpose of this is so that by, I think, Saturday, or I don't know, it's February 3rd, I think, is the due date. We have our
Yeah, I think it's
is
The 3rd is Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, the Super Bowl's the 4th, and that's Sunday.
Okay. So the idea is that we have all our research done by Wednesday. Wednesday, we come together, create our outline. Then from Wednesday until maybe Friday, if we have to meet again, that we write our individual portions. We get assigned our portions on Wednesday. We write those portions, have all our stuff done Friday, in time to have it be reviewed and finalized and turned in on Saturday.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
was-
yeah. Well, that sounds
good.
good.
Okay, so just to clarify, all these topics have to do with like college students, correct? Or is it just the okay? So the like overlying thing is with college students, and then every subtopic is looking at something more specific.
Yep.
Okay.
The one thing though is not finding any research, and we can use it to stretch something. Go ahead, and I think if you can find an age group that's similar to college students and anxiety levels or whatever, I say we can use it. But if we, I think that's only if we can't find good research that are specifically from college students. I think we can look elsewhere and just assume that stress across the board for humans does the same effect for college students as well. But if we can find within the subtopic, that's good.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
Cool. Yeah. So that's it, guys.
And we're going to make a
Awesome.
Google Doc where we can input all of our information.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. And so we're creating what they would call an annotated bibliography. But we're going to just do it on a Google Doc. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you guys Wednesday.
All
Good
right.
luck on your research.
Hey, sounds good. See you guys Wednesday.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Yeah.